Hello and welcome back. So we just saw how to read and list items from our system here. So now what I want us to do is, so I'm going to mute these guys just for reference sake here. Okay, I'll leave that be. Now let's see how we can actually delete an item. So here what we would do is we would get, using the model method, we would create a new model and then find the item with the ID and then delete. Well, it's kind of similar with the query builder. The only real difference is that we have to still specify the table here. But instead of delete, let's try to use the insert first. So here we are adding a customer and then we are validating the data. And here this is what we're doing. So what I want to do here is mute all this. I'll leave it for reference. So we're going to repeat the same system here, kind of. So what I will do is I'm just going to do db table customers insert, just like this. Yeah, that's the only line we need. The only thing that we need to insert, to add here, is the columns and the respective data. So I'm just going to create a random array called, what do I call it? Is data used here? No, it's not. So I'm just going to call it data. So I'll paste that, but replace these guys with data. Oops, like so. Okay. So now what I want to do is I create an array called data, an empty array like this. I don't need to do this, but it's always a good idea to set it to empty just in case it was being used somewhere here. And then here I'm just going to add stuff like so. The keys, so name, email, or age, like this. So I assign these values from the request into this new array that I've created. And then I get the same array and put it there, and that's it. An insert will take place. So let's verify that, shall we? Add, actually I'm missing a D there. Just noticed that. So let's come back to our view right there. Because once you see it, it becomes annoying. Okay, so add new customer. So here I'm just going to say, do we have Peter again? Let's try Josh. Josh at email.com. Let's leave those numbers, save. Okay, so we have a problem now. So as usual, it's saying a general error. It's saying field created add doesn't have a default value. Okay, insert into. So what this error means here is this. Because, let me go back here to our table and go to customers. Great. So what happened is we intended to use this table with models which require the created add and updated at columns. But the query builder here doesn't require those things. You can specify them yourself, but they're not required. So when it's trying to save this data, I'm only providing, let's come back to here. You see the query itself. So I'm only providing 3 columns. name, email, age, just like there. Everything is correct, but these columns do not get a value. And the problem is we didn't allow them to have a default value. So what we just need to do is go to the structure. Now, one way you can get rid of this is just to delete these columns if you're going to use the query builder. But also, what you can do is give them a default value. So let me select both of these, click change. And then let's give them a default value and say current timestamp. Current timestamp, and save. Now, if these are not date related, maybe it's age, you want to add a default value, what you can do is you can add a no, you can define one, or you can put none, which none will not work actually in this case because we need something. So now that I've done that, wait, what's going on? Okay, things are good. Now that I've done that, I can resend the data and see what error we get, if any. So John, let me come back here and let's see if Josh was added. Josh was indeed added, but we can't see Josh here because we are reading a very specific record. So let me go back to where we are listing everything and get back to this one right here, which gets everything. So remove that, remove that. So I'm using this particular one, which is equivalent to this model version. So refresh, Josh was added. Good. So this is how you insert. Very, very simple. Where is this? Not insert here. Where is insert? Right here. Now, if you don't want to go through the trouble of creating a new array like this, what you can do instead is this, which is very similar. So here you can create an array directly in there by putting 2 square brackets like that. But then you can do this. So you can add several items here. So I can just say name like this, name as the key, put the arrow and put the data there. Copy, put there, but don't put a semicolon, put a comma. Duplicate it a couple of times, remove the last comma, and let's update these like so. Age, copy, like that. So I can remove this now, not required. So some people prefer it this way. It's much cleaner because you don't have to create a new array. This is an array here because it's got square brackets, and it will happen just the same. So let's give it a test. Add customer. So let's say ping@yahoo.com. Let's change that a bit. Save. Okay, so now we have a new record here. Quite okay. Right, so in the next video, we'll look at edit and delete.